What's up, y'all? Sitting on the dock of the bay. Sitting on the dock of the bay. You got to say it right. Sitting on the dock of the bay. Otis writing. I'll tell you a funny story about this song. Not this song in particular, but about a person. And maybe I'll share it later in the video. But the first chord is a G major. Okay. And just, keep that in mind. Is it in the key of G? Someone would say it's in the key of G because that's what the song starts out with. So let me just demonstrate. That's one part. Here's another part. That's another part. So now keep in mind this G major can also be played this way. Now you can reference this particular shape without having to switch the shape up. All right. Now on the part where it says, sitting on the dock of the bay. So going from this G to this E major, but actually this E major, it's loosely, it's not really, you can play it, but it's like an E sus2. So you can play a G major up here. Then go to this E major. So go to this G major up here. But you're going to hammer on from the sus2 to the G major shape. Okay, so you're basically using that as a reference. So let's come up to this C major right here, which is a part of the song because you can play. You can do that, you know what I'm saying? Now, but let's use this C major as a reference, just something easy to actually reach, okay? Well, you can play this C major in the regular open A from the cage system position. But also you can not play the full C major and play with this note instead of this, and sort of avoid playing the whole chord in this particular explanation. And right now I'm playing the 5th fret, G string and B string, and my index finger is on the E string on the 3rd fret. So, but using your index finger sort of bar that B, the B string on the 3rd fret, so that you can hammer on from here. Notice I'm muting on the lower strings. Now take that same shape and go up to that G, go back up to the G, okay? So here's the E, remember where this is the low G, and here's that E, here's the G. It's just a way to reference it because this is a low E. You count the frets, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so here's the E. It's a way to reference, okay? So you do that same shape that I did with the C, okay? Okay. And when you play the E, you're pretty much playing the E sus2. Okay, that's kind of that's the reference. Now it sounded like they were playing like this on top, which is actually a B dominant 7 up high. It seemed like they was playing that on top of that. That's what it sounds like. But they had that up high. Anyhow, I'm just trying to think about it, making sure I'm not missing something. But yeah. So they did that, going to the A. And they pretty much did that same like sus2 type shape doing that riff. So, all right. So they did that. Now, I think I played the other part. Then this time it's a regular E major on that part. Okay, now I think I played the so this is G major, D major, C major, G major, F major, D major again. Now there's a double stop that's played on top of that. Okay, now anytime you play a major chord that is, that low E string, you're using that to kind of fill out the chord like this, or this shape too. But I'm primarily talking about the barred shape, this first one. You can always, and I mean, well, I'll say almost always, if you're playing the 4 of a major key, you can't necessarily do this. Not really. You got to kind of be careful with it. But you can always slide up. Okay. All right. So how do you do that? Well, referencing this particular major chord, this G major, we are barring at the 3rd fret. Okay. Now, the box between this 3rd fret and 5th fret is what I want to use as like a foundation for where you're sliding from and up to. And you're going to slide up to the 7th fret in this next explanation. So 5th fret, not 5th fret. 3rd fret is where I'm barring at. This is how I'm playing the major chord. Now you want to take your ring finger and your pinky, place it on the G string and high E string on the 5th fret. Okay. And I pluck them like this. And sometimes if you mute it, you can just, as long as the B string is muted, you can do that and just slide it up a whole step. Okay. The reason this works is because these notes are a part of the G major shape anyway. So this G major triad is right here. So you can just slide up into it. So that's why it works. That's why they did it on the song. Okay. So that's how they were able to go. Okay, for the G major. Now for the D major and the C major, you're going to do the same concept, but once you're in the 7th fret, once you're on that 7th fret on the G and E string, use that same position, just move it up a set of strings. So now you're going to play the D and B string on the 7th fret, and you're going to play those. You can pluck them as long as you're muting the other strings. then move it down a whole step. So it looks like this. Now you can doctor it up. You can juice it up a little bit. Slide into them. Okay, so all right, then it does it again. Then F major. All right, so the way that riff goes on top of that is so that same riff I told you before, the double stop, D major, C major, G major, D major, C major, double stops, G major, F major. Okay, and then you go back to the D major. All right, that's the whole song. Here. You can play it up there too. G major, E sus2, A, E major. Okay, then it goes. Oh, y'all need a tutorial on the whistling part? That's funny. I can't do it at the same time. Anyway, so that is the song, and the story is this. I was in Guitar Center one day, and there was this guy, and there was this guy that, I mean, he was ripping on the guitar. He was like shredding, doing his, you know, all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? And, this older guy had to be like probably older than baby boomer age. Walked in with a cane. He was like, "Man, you ain't playing nothing." He was like, "I bet you can't play Sitting on the Dock of the Bay. I bet you can't play that, can you?" And this guy was like, I actually can't. Now he, doing all that stuff on the guitar, I'm sure he knew how to play a major chord. So I'm sure he knew how to play it. But I said that to say that there are some people who could do all the stuff. They can do the shredding and cannot play the simple stuff. And, in the music world, that can be frowned upon, So don't, just focus on the basics, man. I mean, he literally walked in. The first guy he saw, he was like, I bet you can't play sitting on the dock of the bay. You doing all that playing. He didn't introduce himself or nothing. So I just thought that was funny. And I figured I would share this, So I appreciate all the other guitar teachers and instructors who have already shared it, and figured I would add mine. Okay. So so know your major chords, know your sus2 chords, and reference a major chord while playing a sus2. And let me know if you have questions about it. And that is pretty much it. I will check y'all later. See y'all on another video. Peace.